Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am here to review You, Me, and My Ex. This is season 1, episode 2, Ex Door Neighbors. Let me just apologize right off the bat if I seem tired. It's because I am. I got my first prick, if you know what I mean, and the only reaction I've had is just extreme fatigue and tiredness. But I really want to get this recorded and uploaded, and so let's get into it. We meet a new couple this episode, but everybody else is kind of not too much really happens. Again, it's still just like the strangest show. I don't quite understand, but let's get into it. Like the real nothingness of Lisa and Jimmy. If you recall, we left them last week on the couch fighting because while they both agree they want to be honest with their son about the demise of their marriage. You know, Lisa really wants to get into the dirty details of it all, and Jimmy would rather spare their son, you know, the nitty gritty particulars. Since that fight, you know, where they all kind of stormed off, Lisa says that her and Jimmy have talked it over, they have smoothed things out and agreed that they will tell their son Dominic, you know, the truth of what happened, but yeah, they're gonna spare him, you know, the details, and she's fine with that. The only other thing that happens is that Lisa and her fiance Jack welcome over Lisa's good best homegirl from back in the day. I think her name is Elaine or Eileen, I'm not sure. And you know, she was around, you know, before Lisa met Jimmy, was there when Lisa met Jimmy, was a bridesmaid in the wedding, and was there to help Lisa pick up the pieces after the divorce. And she says, you know, it was really unfortunate, you know, because they were such a great couple. But yeah, he treated her really poorly in the end. And the thing is I don't know that we're gonna get like the real for real details of what went down now that they've decided not to tell Dominic everything that happened. Like, if they're not going to tell their son, are they going to tell all of us viewers? Maybe, but I doubt it. So kind of bummed about that. You know, Lisa shares with her friends that you know, Dominic's 21st birthday is coming up, and because of all the travel restrictions, she's decided she's going to rent an RV, her and Jack, and take along Jimmy and his wife Wendy, and go down and surprise you know, Dominic for his birthday. And the friends are like, ooh, really? Is that a good idea? Like, all of you guys all together, like in an RV for like 20 hours? And you know, that's a lot. That's a bit much. But Lisa's like, no, it's gonna be fine. Like, we all get along, we're all friends. But you know, Lisa's main point here is that, you know, what the real, I mean, yes, the intent is to go to like surprise Dominic and celebrate his birthday, but also more so, she just really wants time to bond with Jimmy and Wendy, because she admits to what, you know, Wendy shared last week, that in the beginning it was a real rough go, that they didn't really get along. It was real ugly. You know, they seem to be in a perfectly fine place now, but she just kind of wants to really cement that bond and just be that real modern family she knows they can be. Because, you know, she has a son with Jimmy, Wendy has a son with Jimmy, they're brothers. It's just, you know, let's all come together and kumbaya it out. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't think we're really gonna get to any drama until we get on the road. So can we get the show on the road, please? Now, thank you. Jerry, Jessica, and Kay LaVey. That is how you say her name, Kay LaVey. But I'll probably still just keep calling her Kay because it's easier. So Kay's out of the closet officially and down in the basement now. But there's no dressers, there's no closet down in the basement. She just has like all of her clothes and belongings laid out on the ping pong table like the swap meet. And Jerry goes down and like, whoa, you kind of have it looking like a boutique down here. And she's like, well, yeah, I mean, I have no other place to put my stuff. And he says, well, you know, I can make some room for you in the closet, and let's take you up there now and make some room. And he says he's kind of bummed that she chose to be in the basement because, you know, he thought her being in the closet, he could just kind of like sneak in there and cuddle up to her whenever he wanted. But, you know, you can't keep Kay in the closet. So they go upstairs, they're making room, and knock, knock, knock. You know, it's Jessica like, hey guys, you know, good morning. I guess it's early in the morning. And she tells him like, oh, you know, I'm just getting ready to, you know, make some breakfast. And right away, Kay's like, well, that sounds amazing. And I'm like, oh no, I see where this is going. You know, and if I can see where this is going, then it feels a little scripted. But I'll continue. So Jerry's like, oh, that's great. Like, what are you thinking of making? And, you know, Jessica runs down the menu like, oh, I think I'm gonna make, you know, like an egg sandwich for Antonio. That's his favorite. And, you know, some oatmeal for so-and-so and toast for so-and-so, you know. And when she gets done, Kay looks at her like, oh, you know, well, I could really go for some eggs. Like, I love scrambled eggs. And Jessica's looking at her like, I'm not your cook, you know, and she kind of just looks at her like, well, you know, the kitchen's open, help yourself, you're welcome to whatever's in the fridge. And she kind of just like walks away, turns around and leaves. And Jerry's like, oh, you know what, I can make you some eggs. You want some salsa with that? I can even cut up some avocado. And she's just like, yeah, that sounds good. You know, her alarm goes off, and he's like, oh, is somebody calling you? And she's like, no, it's just my alarm, because she's very OCD. She has alarms set for everything. She like runs down, you know, oh, at 5 a.m. I wake up, at 5:15 I exercise, at 5:30 I wash my hair, 5:45 I brush my teeth. Like, she just, it keeps her on track. You know, she is a little special, this one. You know, the producers pull her aside and ask her like, so how are you settling in? How are you feeling? And she says, you know, she has to be honest. This house is beautiful. It's like a dream. She just loves the architect of it all. She's not that young. She's 26, but I'm gonna need her to step up her vocab just a little bit. So I guess she appreciates the architecture, is what she's saying. But she said, but it's a lot. You know, it's been a little difficult trying to settle in with so many people, all these kids, an ex-wife, the noise, the crowd, like, you know. But she's doing her best. She's making a real effort. So while she's off, I don't know, brushing her teeth, washing her hair, meditating, Jerry goes downstairs, meets with Jessica. They're kind of getting breakfast together, and Jessica lets him know like right away, like, if she thinks I'm here to like be her maid and her cook, like, that is not happening. He's like, no, of course not. Like, just, you know, give her a little space, give her a little time. Like, she's still new. And it is, like, we're on the second day here, and Jessica's just, it's too much. Like, because Kay hasn't really done, well, I mean, I guess maybe. I mean, she insinuated that you could be her cook, but whatever. Kay finally gets down there. You know, Jerry has like her plate of eggs for her. They sit down, they're kind of enjoying breakfast until like Jessica saunters over like, hey guys, so, you know, she looks at Kay like, did Jerry tell you that he and I like have breakfast every morning together, and I sit on his lap while I eat my cereal? And Kay's just like, oh, okay, well, that's not really gonna happen anymore. And you know, Jessica's like, I'm just kidding. Like, I'm joking. I'm teasing. I really came over here because I just needed to break up this conversation because I need Jerry to come help me in the kitchen. Like, really, Jessica? Like, really? Is that what we're doing? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, you know, and Jerry even says, like, the way Jessica is behaving is just her marking her territory. You know, she's the ex-wife. She's the mom. She was here first. This is her domain. And that's exactly what I see. And I don't, Jessica, you know, I thought I would, because she seems like an easy enough going person, but she's rubbing me the wrong way. And it's not because I'm like such a fan of Kay, but I just don't think Kay's really done anything other than be maybe putting on a little bit for the cameras to create this like story. Like I said, some of these things are feeling forced on everybody's part. So like later that night or maybe the next day, it's game night. It's family game night that they do every week. Everybody participates, but Jessica's not coming down. And Jerry's like yelling for her, like, Jessica, like, come down. And she kind of like, you know, he's like, I'm gonna go get her. And like, he goes to her room, but he shuts the door behind him so you can't see them, but they're still mic'd up. And she's telling him like, I don't want to go down there. Like, I don't want to have to hang out with her. I don't want to be around her. Like, she's like draining me. Like, she's sucking the life out of me. And I'm like, that's a bit dramatic, or are we just not seeing it? Are they not showing it to us? Like, again, I don't think Kay's really done anything but tried her best to settle into a situation, you know, like, if you're gonna be irritated, Jessica, be irritated with Jerry. I mean, he invited her here to live with him. And you don't have to be there. Like, you aren't his wife. He's fine enough to take care of himself now. And if he needs help, Kay's there to help him. Like, I just don't see why you're still there. And I don't see what the attitude is about. And I guess Kay can feel it. She's sitting down in the basement with all the kids because they're about to do board games, charades, I don't know what. And she's just like, where is everybody? Like, is Jessica coming down? Like, where's Jerry? Like, where is everybody? And, you know, Jerry finally gets Jessica to come out, you know, very begrudgingly, because Jessica's like, you know, like, he's dating her. I'm not dating her. The family isn't dating her. Like, I mean, it's obvious she didn't really have much of a say in Kay moving in. I mean, but they're filming a show, so I'm sure, I mean, if she really didn't want to be there, she can leave. it's too scripted. It's too manufactured. But I do sense I don't know. I don't know. So, she goes down, she sits down with everybody, Jessica, and, Kate tries to, like, sort of extend, like, the olive branch, like, hey, like, how are you doing, Jessica? Like, how are you feeling about all this? Like, honestly, really, And Jessica's like, well, it's a lot, but, I'm okay. And, Kay's like, she's trying. She's trying to have a conversation. She's giving Jessica the opportunity to be honest and say what she feels. But if Jessica isn't going to do that, then Kay's like, then I give up. Like, I tried. Like, and there's only so much I can do. And if she's going to be a bitch, well, then I can be a bitch right back. And okay, so that's the road we're going to go down. I don't know about this couple. I watch another reviewer. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Shiality TV, and she did a quick review of this couple last week and just felt that it was really just sort of a scripted, manufactured storyline. And I agree, because I just don't feel like any real sort of authenticity. I mean, if this was a real life thing, if I were Jessica, number one, I'd be like, well, I don't want to be on this show. Number two, I'm moving out. Like, other than, like, is it like a free room and board for her there? Like, does she have to pay any rent? Is that why she's staying? I don't, because, like, what about your life? Are you dating? Are you meeting anybody? Like, are you just going to hang out with, like, Jerry and his new girlfriend in the house? Like, this couple irritates me, and I don't even know if I can keep reviewing their segments, because it's just, like, it's just dumb. It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. And if it doesn't make any sense, it's odd, but I'm rambling. Let's move on. Caroline and Alex, you remember them. They are the couple, Steven is Alex's ex-boyfriend, and he's always, like, on the FaceTime. He's never, like, there in person. Well, Alex and Caroline are headed to Caroline's sister to celebrate Thanksgiving, like Friendsgiving. So Caroline, a few of her cousins are going to be there. Alex's sister is going to swing by, and they're going to have some friends. It's going to be a good time. We meet Lydia, Caroline's sister, who says, like, when Caroline first brought Alex home, it was a little strange, but they've been together now for 2 years. So they've been together for a solid 2 years. And Lydia says that, Alex brings out the best in Caroline. She's a more compassionate and kind person. So she's all for that. So am I, But then we meet Robert, Caroline's cousin, who was out and proud. And he can't get over that they're a couple, because he's just like, Alex is gay, like, and he might be with Caroline and he may even love her, but there's gonna come a day where he's gonna want to be with a guy, and it's just, like, inevitable. I don't know if that's fair. I don't know, but Robert's just like, hey, I have a lot of questions for them, because I'm just a concerned cousin looking out for the best interest of Caroline. But hey, if they're together 2 years and they're in love, like, get over it. I'm getting ahead of myself. Jessica, Alex's sister, comes by, and she's the only family member who has met Caroline. And she says, like, when she first found out that Alex was with Caroline, she thought he was joking. She thought he was, like, punking her, because she's just like, I know my brother. Like, I grew up with him. I used to dress him up in my clothes. Like, he's gay, but what, okay, like, if you say so, but she's looking around like, where's Steven, the ex-boyfriend? And they're like, well, he's not coming. And she's like, what? So she FaceTimes him, because he's good for a FaceTime call. And she's kind of like, hey, where are you? How come you're not here? And he says, oh, because of the whole lockdown. And she's just like, oh, I was really wanting to see you, because I wanted to share with you, like, I got married. And he's like, oh, wow, congratulations, And she tells him, but, I'm going to have, like, a bigger, like, party ceremony, like, when things reopen. And you definitely have to be there. And I actually, like, I want you to be one of the people who give me away. Oh, they're, like, that close. I mean, they're real close. I mean, she says she considers Steven, like, to be another brother. But Alex is sitting there like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, and he's like, what about Caroline? Like, can Caroline be, like, a bridesmaid? And she's looking at him like, oh, no. And, Caroline's overhearing this, and she's kind of a little bit hurt. She doesn't get, like, it hurts her feelings, like, to see how close Jessica still is with Steven, despite the fact that Steven treated Alex not so nice and cheated on him, like, but yet she doesn't really feel accepted in the same way, I mean, I don't blame her. I mean, again, did I mention this is an odd show? But maybe I'm here to learn some things. This is TLC. This is the Learning Channel, okay? So later that night, Alex pulls his sister Jessica and his really good friend aside to let them know, like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I'm really in love with Caroline. And she's the one, and I'm thinking I'm gonna propose to her. And Jessica's like, tonight? And he's like, no, not tonight, but I just kind of want to give you the heads up, like, this is coming. And they're just like, are you sure? You know, the friend's like, I mean, are you sure this is what you really want to do? Like, I know you, we used to live together. I used to see the men that used to roll through. And you know, Alex is like, yeah, I know. But, no, like, I really love her. Like, she loves me for me and accepts me for who I really am. And even Jessica can't argue with that. She's like, yeah, that's true. She surely does. Because, I mean, when you see Alex, it's true. Like, he is who he is. He's not pretending to be anybody else. He's not putting on any kind of airs. Like, this is who he is. And Caroline fully accepts him and loves him and embraces him. And they're a couple, like, they're together. You know, when we get this scene of Alex, like, kind of on the confessional couch by himself, sharing that, you know, when he was with Steven, like, he really loved him and he thought his life was going to go a certain way. But, you know, Steven didn't always make him feel confident in their relationship. They'd go out, Steven would get hit on, you know, he wouldn't make it, you know, plainly known that, hey, this is Alex, my boyfriend, you know, and it was hurtful to Alex. And they never even had like an official breakup. He just kind of blocked Steven for a little while. And then I suppose they like started communication at some point again. And so he knows he never really got closure on that. And I think that could be a problem. Maybe you're sort of like running from that, in denial about it. I don't know. I don't want to get too deep on it, but you know, he wants to be loved like we all do, you know, and he gets that from Caroline. And you know, whatever he wants to call himself, label himself, identify as, like right now he's got Caroline and he's happy with her and she seems happy with him. And you know, they're adults, and if I was their friend, I'd be like, fine. Like, if you're happy, I'm happy for you. If you're both treating each other well and respecting each other and loving each other and getting what you need, then good luck to you. You have my blessing for whatever it's worth, you know? But I know next week we're going to be more the family, and it's going to be more of this like questioning, and it's just like, it's exhausting. Like, just let him be happy. He's found happiness and acceptance. Let it be. Like, it's just, is it forced? Are we forcing another storyline here? I don't know. It's odd. I mean, it is a little strange, I'll admit, but it's a strange show. What can I say? The new couple, April and Roy. I might need to draw a diagram to like explain the schematics of this ridiculousness. I mean, we talk about odd and complicated. Okay, April and Roy. You know, April's driving with her two kids, Haley, who's like 24, and Tanner, who's 14, to go pick up Roy, who we believe to be her husband, who was deployed and has now returned home. He's in the military. She's a military wife, right? Oh my God, I can't with these noises outside my window. Okay. She goes to pick up Roy. He's home. The kids jump out of the car. They're excited to see him. She's excited to see him. He gets in the car. They're driving home, and she's like, oh, I'm so glad you're home, because there's like all these things I want to do to the house. Like, we need to paint the fence. I want to remodel the bathroom. I want to do this. I want to do that. And he's like, oh, this sounds like a honey-do list. Like, I ain't your honey no more. Okay, so he's the ex. And now we get into the convoluted, complicated, follow me if you will, like, diagram. Okay, so we have April and Roy. They're the exes. Okay, Roy's in the military and he's always often deployed. And on one of his deployments, April met her next door neighbor, John, who was married to Lauren. Okay, John came knocking on the door one day wondering if April needed her lawn cut. And she was like, yeah, sure. I don't know. Did he see, I mean, she wasn't a single lady. Did he just see a woman in need of help? Like, I know, I've heard, you know, military marriages can be quite difficult, you know, when your spouse is always away, you're there to have to run the household, take care of the kids. It's a lot. So maybe he was just trying to be helpful, you know, and in return, she was like, let me cook you dinner. I mean, did she invite his wife Lauren over? I don't think she said she did. It seems a little inappropriate to me. Like, maybe we're really walking that line. But she says, you know, it was all fully platonic. They were just friends who had a lot in common. I suppose that being their marriages like on the brink of, you know, divorce. Because she says, you know, she was just sort of missing the attention and the concern because Roy's deployed and always away. And now she was getting that from John. So, you know, John divorces Lauren, his wife. She divorces Roy, her husband. They're neighbors. don't forget. So Lauren moves out of her and John's house down the street to a friend's house. John leaves his house, moves in with April and her family, all the while Roy is still deployed somewhere. Are you following me? But now Roy is back. And Roy, you know, and April are still very much financially intertwined together. They're intertwined. They still have 2 bank accounts together. You know, they're all sitting on the couch, and John, the new husband, just like rolling his eyes. Like, yeah, they got bank accounts together. You know, Roy's name is still on the deed to the house. Yeah, his name is still on the deed. Like, John just looks like, you know, exacerbated by all of this. But I mean, he knew what he was getting into, you know, and Roy's sitting there kind of like, you know, bummed out that he's lost his wife. I mean, that's how he looks to me. And April keeps saying, like, you know, they're still best friends. She is not, you know, she still loves Roy. He's still the father of her children. So she's not going to totally be a bitch and like leave him high and dry, you know, ruin his finances, take him for all that he's worth. Like, she doesn't want to leave him in a bad place. So they're still like, you know, on all these things together, like a married couple would be, but they're not married. She's married to John now. But Lauren, John's ex-wife, is still like hanging around. Like, they're all like, you know, a happy foursome, sort of like Jimmy and Lisa, but even like weirder. Because at least like Jimmy and Lisa like have businesses. They don't live together. It's not like a next door neighbor swapping kind. Because at one point I'm like, is Roy with Lauren? Like, are they? No, they're not together, I don't think. But they all hang out. It's weird. It's weird. You know, so, you know, if you think it can't get any weirder, just wait. It can, because Roy and April, the exes, are going to go get matching tattoos together now that he's home. And she's not going to tell her new husband, John, because she doesn't think he'd really appreciate it or even let her. And it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. And that's true. I've heard that before. So they're going to go to the tattoo shop that is owned by their daughter, Haley's like good friend, you know, and Haley's just like, even she's like, it's weird. Yeah, you know, for a long time when they broke up, she always wanted her parents to get back together. But she's like, but you know, now that my mom is remarried to John, like I don't really see that happening. But yeah, this is weird. Yeah, she sees it. We see it. But, you know, April says that, you know, she can justify this because number one, John and Lauren, the exes, you know, her husband and his ex-wife, they have a few matching tattoos. And the tattoo that her and Roy are going to get together is like the, what do you call it? Like their sons, like longitude and latitude. That's not what it is. The longitude and latitude of where exactly their son was born. What, I cannot think of the name. Like the coordinates, the map coordinates of where he was born has some significance, I guess. So it's like, so it's not like they're just getting like some heart with their initials. Like this is about their son, you know. And speaking of their son, April says, like, you know, her and Roy, again, if I haven't already said it, are still best friends. Like they travel together, they stay in the same room together when they go to like their son's soccer tournaments. I mean, I guess if your husband's comfortable with it. I mean, it's strange. It's strange. So they go and they get the tattoos. Now, Lauren, are you following me? It's so convoluted. Lauren, John's ex-wife, tells the camera that April told her what was going to happen, that her and Roy were going to go get tattoos. And she wants to be there for the explosion. Like, she wants to see, like, what, you know, John's going to do. So she's hanging out at John and April's house, because that's just what they do. You know, Roy and April get back to the house. Does Roy still live there? I think he does. Like, I don't, but what happened to like John and Lauren's original house? They have kids. I don't see, there's a few holes in this story that have yet to be filled in. So anyway, Roy and April get back. They've been gone all day. It's like well into the night. And John's like, where the hell have you guys been? You've been gone all day. And, you know, April trying to be cute is like, oh, we were out on a date. And he's like, excuse me? And even Roy's like, yeah, that's weird. No, we weren't. Don't say that. And she's like, oh, I didn't know if I wanted to tell you because I don't know how you're going to feel, but I might as well just like say it. Like we got tattoos together. And he's just like, okay. And she's like, but you know, before you get upset, like it's not what you think. Like it's a tattoo of like where, you know, Tanner was born, the longitude and latitude. The coordinates. I'm sorry, the coordinates. She's like, see, look, here it is, you know, and he's just like, oh yeah, that looks nice. He's like, I get it. Like, that's fine. Like, I'm fine with it, you know, but I would have appreciated a heads up. Like, you could have told me. And she's like, okay, well, you know, I just didn't know. I just didn't, April, I don't get the appeal. And like I said, it seems to me that Roy is still in love with April. Because when he was talking earlier, he says when he first met her, it was like love at first sight. Like he knew she was the one. And, you know, she met this new guy, next door neighbor, while he was away. So it was kind of like he didn't really have control. It's just like something that happened. He wasn't like an active participant in this like breakup and demise and divorce. And I don't think he's quite over her yet, if you ask me. But, you know, this is where they're at. And I guess he's just going to take what he can get. April's friendship, I don't know, odd. This is probably thus far, and I mean odder even than like Caroline and Alex. Like this is strange. Like what are we doing? What are we doing? You know, maybe this is learning. I'm learning something here. This is, like I said, this is a learning channel. This is TLC. Maybe is this how exes like operate in the world with each other? I didn't know. I'm learning. Is this what it is? I'm learning something new, you guys, so like stay tuned. This is educational. This is educational programming. I'm tired. I know I'm tired and a little delirious. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of this show, if you're enjoying it, if it's too manufactured for you. You know, rate, comment, subscribe if you like. This is probably gonna be like the most messy upload I've ever done, and I've done some messy ones, but I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye.